Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome. My name is Angela, and this is my channel, Mama Ange Soul. I like to do tarot pick-a-card readings, where I channel messages to offer you insight and ways to connect with yourself. And I typically like to do these readings around a new or a full moon so we can try to harness the energy that's coming in for us. So today specifically, I'm trying to hopefully anchor in some of the energy from the full moon for the Leo full moon for February 12th, 2025. If you're coming to this reading before, obviously not before, but if you're coming to this reading after the 12th of February, this energy may still influence you and perhaps there's still a message here for you. So I invite you to share your experience in the comments below, a little bit about me. And of course, I'll leave timestamps if you want to skip all this. A little bit about me, though. My name is Angela. You can call me Angela or Ange or Mama Ange, whichever you prefer. And I have been reading tarot, for over 30 years. I started reading when I was 13, and this year I will be 48. So I've been reading for quite a long time for friends and loved ones, mostly through channeled messages. So hopefully you feel a connection to the information that comes through. My goal is to help you to connect with yourself and your own energy and your own intuition, and help to instill the confidence and guidance that you need to feel validated enough to step forward in your power. So all that said, if you'd like to stay connected to me, you like what I have to offer, you like my energy, you like the messages that come through, please like, comment, subscribe, wherever you feel called to act. And I look forward to connecting with you more in the future. I hope to create a community where we can share loving and supportive information for one another and continue to lift each other up. So without further ado, today we have three decks of cards here. We have the beautiful pink Calcite. We have black Moonstone for pile number 2, and for pile number 3 we have a gorgeous little shiny piece of Hematite. So I invite you to take a moment and connect with the energy, and whichever deck you feel called to, go ahead and select that from the timestamps. Groups 1, 2, and 3. For group number 1, welcome. You've selected the pink Calcite and this gorgeous little deck of pre-selected, pre-shuffled cards. We have the Personal Power Oracle deck. We also have the Star Codes Astro Oracle. And one of my favorites, we're going to read some sweet-ass affirmations today. The purpose of these cards is to help to anchor you into the message that's coming in, and hopefully this will be an indicator that you're in the right spot. So let's see what we have for you today. I am worthy. Progressions. Journey. Interesting. And then I rage in the rain because it fuels my growth. To me, this really feels like someone who is looking to perhaps go back to school, take a new course, someone who is interested in exploring learning a new hobby or something to that effect. Taking something on that's new. It feels like this particular step requires some sacrifice. It might mean personal sacrifice, or could it even indicate that your time, effort, and energy is going to be focused on yourself versus, family or job obligations or other parental responsibilities. This progressions, this journey, this could be anything from, it could be something like a retreat, or it could be learning a new course, going back to school, getting your degree, specializing in something you're taking this challenge on because you know you can do it. You know you're worthy of the benefits that come as a result of this challenge. So I'm going to go ahead and read the back of I Rage in the Rain because it fuels my growth. These are really fun, a little obnoxious, so I hope you enjoy them as well. The message on the back. When the thunder roars and you feel like chaos moving closer, proudly take guard and whoa, man, the fucking storm. Bring on the lightning and the floods. Gear up in your finest shields and ships with a parade to the center of the turmoil. Without the storms, your seeds cannot sprout. Without the storms, there cannot be growth. When life hits you in the face with a bag of shit, use it to fertilize the next generation of your creations. You can't calm the storm, you can only calm yourself. A setting of peace follows every black cloud. In this state of calmness, your finest creations will expand their roots and turn all the uproars into magical flowers. Okay, so I'm not sure where that last bit of the video clipped off, so I may have to edit this a bit and get back there. But I believe we did go ahead and read the card. I'm getting the message that this particular journey, it's obviously going to be unique to you. This may just be for one person, it may be for several, but I get the feeling that you are leaving something behind. You're choosing yourself and you're moving forward and stepping into whatever comes next because you've already been through it. You've already seen it, you've already done it, and you're strong enough to make it through this time. So I'm going to go ahead and get started shuffling the tarot. This is not my original deck, but it's the first deck I learned to read intuitively. This is the Cosmic Tarot, and it's a very well-loved, kind of filthy deck, actually, but it's been around for quite a while, and since it's been a while since I posted to YouTube, I thought it was appropriate to kind of get back to my roots, trying to come home to myself too. So, Spirit, can you please share what message Group 1 needs to hear at this time? How can they anchor in this energy from this full moon in Leo for February 12th, 2025? What information, what messages does Group number 1 need for the energy of this full moon? What information, what messages does Group 1 need for this full moon? Thank you. What information, what messages does Group 1 need for this full moon? I have a couple more cards. Thank you. All right, so let's take a look at what we have. Yes. Okay. Interesting. Sorry. This is not my usual setup, so I apologize. I'm still kind of learning what this is going to look like for you too, so I apologize. There we go. You can see a little bit more clearly. All right, so we have the Princess of Swords, the Three of Wands in reverse, the Ten of Swords upright, and the Four of Pentacles in reverse. The Princess of Swords is telling me she's choosing herself. She's drawing her boundaries. She's ready for change. We see here the bird in the foreground. This, I believe it's, I have to confess, I don't know my bird. So if you know what bird this is, please leave that in the comments below. But she's a fighter. Like, she's not taking it anymore. She's choosing herself, and she's making that a hard line in the sand. She's very clear, very transparent with her messaging. So it seems like perhaps you've really had to put your foot down about something and fiercely choose yourself. And then we have the Three of Wands in reverse. And what I see with this is there's obviously been some upheaval, some upset to your peace. So this journey is about finding a way back again, a way back to yourself, finding your way back home. You might have been feeling quite a bit of exhaustion, overwhelm, overworking, self-sacrificing, obviously not filling your own cup. And then the Four of Pentacles in reverse, just this, either there aren't resources for you to call upon for help and support through this, or you're refusing, like you're absolutely not asking for help from anyone. You are working your way through this on your own. Now just know, this is coming from the mom in me, if you do have someone that you trust that you can ask for assistance, for help or support, it's an invitation, right? To consider where those resources are in your life. How about that? That's probably better. Instead of momming everybody on the internet, perhaps I should just say, here's an invitation. Think about this. But there is an offering of assistance to you, I feel like, but you may not be seeing it because you're fighting so hard to get to like a stable point, because your peace has been so offset. So take a pause, consider who might be willing to support you, whether that be financially, emotionally, even, physically, like someone who can give you a hug or a space for you to be heard. Sometimes that's the support that we need. So I'm going to ask a few more questions. It really looks like you're putting a plan into place to move forward. But I do want to know a little bit more about the what feels like, an opportunity for support with the Four of Pentacles. Who would be this Four of Pentacles spirit? Tell me more. Tell me more. Thank you. Emperor. That's interesting. This feels like a teacher or a guide, supervisor or a mentor, someone you look up to and appreciate or admire. It does feel more masculine in nature, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. There's no gender associated, but it does have a masculine energy to it. This person has clarity, wisdom, and vision, and may be able to help guide you on your path. So consider, just take a pause for a minute, and if the person you were thinking about a few minutes ago happens to be in alignment with this Emperor, that may very well be the person that you're being guided toward to seek out for, at the very least, the benefit of their wisdom, right? So it's an invitation to see how they can support you at this time. You know what? Let's ask that question. Why not? How can this guide be a support to group number one? How can this guide be a support to group number one? How can this guide be a support to group number one? Thank you. Okay. Can you tell me more, please? Tell me more. Okay. Okay, so this guide seems like they've been through a similar circumstance, or at least the structure of what it is that you're going through is similar to something they've experienced. So they kind of have what looks like a roadmap or a blueprint, right, of some different options or opportunities to consider to try to work your way through it. Ultimately, this is something that you're going to have to figure out on your own. Sorry. Perhaps if you feel comfortable enough to lay out your plan and intention with this guide, with this person, this mentor, I think they're going to offer you insights you hadn't considered. And you'll know that it's right for you when it hits all those spaces, right? It hits within your physical body, your spiritual body, and your mental body. So we have physical, mental, spiritual. So we're all connected, right? The divine trinity. So if all those things are connecting for you, I feel like you'll feel that in your body and you'll feel it in your knowing. And I don't know how else to explain that, but those of you who are empathic can really hopefully grasp that. You'll feel it in your knowing. And then the Five of Swords, I think this person will help you to see where you're overcomplicating it, maybe not by giving you their specific roadmap necessarily, but helping you to plan it out for yourself, helping you to redirect your energy and your attention where it will most benefit you, not necessarily just to get your way out of the situation, but to navigate and elevate, to bring you to a higher plane so you can, like when you're looking back on something. So it's a shorter path between now and then. So the distance between the moment when you have a resolution and when you can look back on your circumstances and see with more clarity where you were at that time. It's hard for you to make a decision about this right now, I think, because it's an emotional decision. There are emotional pieces that are connected that may be making you feel like you're bound or trapped to it. But there are ways to incorporate and organize those pieces and parts of your life that will benefit you best. And I think this guide has this information for you to be able to help you organize and straighten things out in your mind and also in your emotions to help disentangle that situation. Whew. So that's a lot. It seems like it's a really big thing that's coming up for you because it's really been weighing on your mind quite a bit. Feels like you've had a lot of setbacks that have come along with it. There may have been a lot of setbacks that have come along with this big decision, this big move and movement forward. Okay, so the Two of Cups and the Princess of Wands, what's standing out for me here is the passion, right? This is something, it's like a long burning desire. It's something that you have wanted for a very, very long time. I believe that you're finally feeling the confidence to step forward into this. I'm excited to hear what this is. It sounds like a bit of a challenge, but it also sounds like something that you've really been needing to step forward into for quite some time. I'd be curious to know, for those of you that are willing to share in the comments below, please do. All right, let's see. What else does Group 1 need to know about this situation? Is there any other information that they can benefit from using the energy of this full moon in Leo? Thank you. All right, so it isn't an easy path. It hasn't been an easy path to this point. But there's been growth. There's been growth, and though it may have been scarce, there have been opportunities to move forward into this. I feel like you're continuing to labor forward, that you foresee it to be something that's laboring, moving forward. But I don't feel that that's the case. This is going to be a difficult challenge for group number one as they move forward into this next step, into this, using the energy of this full moon. Thank you. Okay. Okay, yes. So I think the biggest challenge, so you might already foresee this, but you might not. I think the biggest challenge that may be coming up for you are the things that you have to let go. And it's really hard when we have to leave anything behind. Change is hard for everybody. But the Three of Pentacles tells me that you do have the support, the tools, the experience that you need, and the teamwork to be able to build something better, stronger, more beautiful than you could have imagined. I think the tower needs to come down so that you could step forward into building, into the Three of Pentacles, into what's meant to be. We're just kind of in this crazy place in between. So my advice to you would be to just persevere. Hang in there, group number one, because you're going to be able to do this. And you already know that. You already know you're worthy of the opportunity, and you're taking this with everything you've got. Just keep going. Don't give up. I want to say you're almost there, but you're not. You're going to see your progress, though, and that's the important thing. I think we lose sight of the fact that it really isn't about the destination. It is about the journey and the growth and the beautiful things that happen in the space in between, right? It's nice to be able to look back fondly at circumstances and, see our own growth. And there's an invitation for you if you want some homework. Just take a minute and think about where you're at right now. Think about where you're at right now and consider where you were a month ago, 6 months ago, a year ago. How much have you progressed? Think about the last hard thing that you had to get through and how you did that. And look back from the other side of it. Send yourself some gratitude because you made it. You're resilient. You're amazing. You got this far. And you're going to keep going. You're not giving up. Your progress matters. Every step in this process matters for you. All right, group one. I'm going to shuffle these gorgeous My Quality Time Self-Care Guidance cards. Actually, I don't think that's what they're called. My Quality Time Self-Care Activity Cards. Excuse me. So we're going to go ahead and see what ways you can tap into taking care of yourself as you go through this process. Is there any other messages? Ooh, okay. We're going to just take those. We're going to take those. And any of these messages, if they resonate for you, take it. If it doesn't, just release it. Let it go. All right. So we have cafe. We have travel. So maybe you really are traveling somewhere. I would be interested to know where you're going. We have journal. And we have movie. This is telling me, be here, be present, be in the moment, be in every quiet moment you have with yourself and relish it. This here, travel is it's more than just going on a trip and seeing beautiful sights. It's being present, being mindful. All of these things feel like a reminder to be mindful of where you're at. If you're enjoying a meal, if you're drinking that first cup of coffee, if you're taking in the scenery, if you're reflecting on a memory, a precious memory you want to capture in a journal, or if you're watching a movie, one of your favorites or something new, whatever you're giving your attention to, take a moment to consciously engage with it. Really be present in this moment. That's where our power lies, is when we are here in this moment right now. Not tomorrow, not back when, not 5 seconds from now. Right now, in this moment, is the most real and the most amazing and the most powerful moment. That's where the magic happens. All right, group number 1, that is the message I have for you today. I hope these messages resonated for you. If they did, please leave a comment in the messages below, in the comment section below, and let me know what you thought. It's been a minute since I've tried to do this. I usually do one-on-one readings, which are a lot easier than, being a pair of hands on YouTube. So I look forward to hearing from you. All right, group number 2, you selected the Black Moonstone. As I mentioned in the prior group, if you came here from that previous group, I selected some cards to help anchor into whether or not this is the right space for you. So if you feel better attuned to one of the other decks, you can certainly try that. But we'll go ahead and get started. This card says, I am responsible for my life. And then we have solar calm, clarify. And then finally, these are the sweet ass affirmations deck. I am rich in happiness, fulfillment, and purpose. My bling is priceless. So as we tune into the energy of this full moon in Leo, it feels like reflection. I know this says clarify. Clarify usually means you don't have all the information. But to me, I feel like there's reflection happening here. You're taking a pause. You're looking at your existing life and you're going, you know what? I'm happy. I'm good. This is where I'm at. This is where I want to go. This is where I'm headed. It feels like there's projection forward. Perhaps you're seeing things fall into alignment. Are you manifesting? Wow, of course. It feels like maybe you're manifesting your magical life. I love that. You might start to see the synchronicities coming into your life at this time. Let's go ahead and read the back of this message. It's got to be a gem of information here. All right. It says, the American dream. It's as depressing as a dimple on your butt. If you believe you'll get a nickel you can spend on some stuff, let me start this over. The American dream. It's as depressing as a dimple on your butt. If you believe you'll get a nickel you can spend on some stuff, and in time you'll get a dime if you impress your boss, so you can buy some more junk just to numb your thoughts. Don't let this cycle consume your life as it does so many others. Chase your dreams and the money will follow. Chase money and you may never catch your dreams. The purest measure of wealth is how much you are worth when you lose all your money. If you truly want to feel rich, count all the beauty in your life that money cannot buy. You may find the areas that matter the most are priceless. Wow. Wow. Perhaps you are taking stock of all the things that you find valuable. What's most important to you right now? Could be you're also clearing space out, minimizing, right? Like spring cleaning, clearing out your closet, clearing out your drawers, having garage sales, trying to get rid of stuff you don't need or use anymore. It feels like as things are falling into place, they're also coming into focus, if that makes sense. I just had like my vision it just kind of went a little bit weird. Like, when you're at the eye doctors, and they're like, number one, number two, number one, number two. And it just until things started to get clearer and come into focus. All right. Well, if you'd like to take a screenshot, I left the message up for you here on the back side. All right, so just clearing out the deck for group number 2, we're going to go ahead and read my my very well loved deck of cards. I got this, not this particular deck. I've had these for a while though. When I was 16. If you listen to the beginning part of this message, I've been reading tarot since I was 13, and I am approaching my 50s. So, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and dive in. Just asking Spirit, please help me to connect with the energy of group number 2. Please help this message to guide them and help them to anchor into what energy they need to focus on for the full moon in Leo for February 12th, 2025. Okay, so we're just going to ask for a few cards here. Spirit, what does group number 2 need to know? Spirit, what does group number 2 need to know? What else does group number 2 need? Wow, that's a little much. We're gonna put that back. We're gonna try one more time. What does group number 2 need to know? Okay. What does group? Sorry, guys. I am. This is not my usual setup, so I apologize. I'll try to straighten these out so you can see them a little bit better. What does group number 2 need to know? What does group number 2 need to know about the energy from this full moon in Leo? Thank you. Ooh. Oh, sorry, I forget. We're not allowed to show those. Group number 2. What does group number 2 need to know? Whoa. Okay. All right, we'll take it. We'll actually take that too. All right. Give me a sec with that one. Okay. Okay, so we have the world. She's got some exposed bits and parts, so we're just going to cover those up for you. All right. Just tune into the information here. We have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, the Princess of Pentacles. We have the World, the Princess of Swords, the Ace of Wands, and the Hermit. I'm hearing in my mind, how did I get here? How did I get here? I'm not quite sure what that means, but that's what I'm hearing. Feels like there's a completely different perspective on your life right now that you would have had, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, maybe even literally 8 years ago. Your perspective has shifted. This could have come from a loss or mourning something. The end of a relationship, a job, change. Changes and transitions are portals and pathways into new roadmaps for our lives, right? And our experiences, our past experiences we're still connected to them. So perhaps there's a thread that a path that you were trying to follow when you were younger that you somehow either took a misstep or took a different direction, and now you're exploring the possibility of what that could look like. It's almost like you're trying to recreate an idea from the past in a new way. I don't know if that makes sense for you. If it does, definitely if you could reflect that in the comment section below, that would be helpful for me. And we have the world. I get the sense that your experiences, these transitions in your life, this death energy, it doesn't necessarily have to be physical death. It can be the change or transition, as I mentioned. It allows you to see the magic of alchemy, right? So how you can turn one thing into another, sometimes simply by changing your perspective. And that it's coming up again. How did I get here? It's almost like you're seeing this magic take place, but you're not sure how. And that's okay. You don't necessarily have to know. You can definitely explore it. I feel like the hermit is here for a reason. The hermit can be an invitation to go within, to have communion with yourself and be in the quiet and the stillness of connection with your soul, with your guides in prayer, whatever that looks like for you. It doesn't necessarily have to mean, sitting there for half an hour and accidentally falling asleep, like some of us. But no, truly though, like it's a practice. So maybe that's something you're considering beginning. But I feel like if you do explore the art of meditation, you'll find there a key, something that'll help you to unlock the how and the why, so you can repeat this process again. You can make it make sense, how you got to this place and how you can do it again and apply it in different areas in your life. We have the Princess of Swords and the Ace of Wands. I'm hearing it's so interesting, the difference a year can make. So I don't know if something over the course of the last year has shifted your perspective, has shifted how you show up in the world, your goals, your dreams, but something has sparked within you this desire to follow your passion again, to really just connect, dive deep, and go hard. Just go for it, go hard. Spirit, can you tell me more about this Ace of Wands for group number 2? Tell me more about this Ace of Wands for group number 2. Thank you. Tell me more. How about this Ace of Wands? Thank you. Okay. Bear with me. I have a lot of different pieces of information coming through. Okay. This may be just for one or two specific people. This feels like the energy of someone you looked up to, someone you held in high regard, made some decisions that kind of humanized them, right? It was kind of a fall from grace. Maybe someone you idolized. For some people, it might be, father, grandfather, even in that close of a relation, a sibling. But this person may have acted in ways that that weren't their highest representation of themselves, and it humanized them for you. And I feel like this impacted you because I almost feel like why did this impact you? Obviously, it impacted you for a reason. I'm just trying to channel the message thread that's coming through. It's just saying it shattered the illusion. And I feel like, okay, so this is how back here you were holding yourself back, right? As you were following along the lines of your life, right? How did I get here? How did I get here when you wanted to be something else? So maybe their shattered image, right? Your shifted perspective of who they were made you wake up to who you are and what you would like to have in your life. And that started to shift things for you. Things started to become clearer, might have become easier for you to clear out the space and the clutter, the attachment that you may have had to things and some relationships and people that might have been holding you back. This Princess of Swords here, kind of hiding because I don't have enough room on the screen. So that's where it's coming from. It helped you to be brave enough to be who you are and let yourself shine through, because you didn't want to end up as someone who never followed or fulfilled their dreams. This shattered perspective or shifted perspective of this loved one really, really changed things for you. All right, let's ask just one more question. What else does group number 2 need to know about the energy of this full moon and how this benefits them? What else do we need to share? Thank you. Anything else? Any other messages? Thank you. All right, so let's see. So with the energy of this full moon in Leo, I feel like there are a lot of restrictions around your ability to be seen, to shine, to stand out, be seen by others. We have the star here. She's got naked lady parts at the top, so we're just covering that up because we're a family show. So the star in the reverse position, she's not in her fullest light. You can't help it, right? As the star, like, you're going to shine. There's nothing you can do about that. But there were always restrictions put on that. You always held yourself back. And it was this self-imposed over time, censorship of your light, of your brightness, of your ability to stand up and be your brightest, to stand out, to succeed, to be successful. So this is an opportunity to help to try to balance things out as things become clearer and come into focus at this time. Sorry, I just messed all that up. Yep, I'm a mess maker. All right, before we go, I'm going to ask a couple of questions of the My Quality Time Self-Care Activity Cards. So these are really great self-care cards. Wow, okay, so we had suggestions coming out. We're going to just take them. No, I feel like, yeah, we'll leave them. Spirit, what messages does Group 2 need to help them anchor into the energy of this full moon in Leo? Thank you so much. I feel like we have it. Let's see what we got. Candles. Dance. Oh, I didn't think those were still in there. Here. I see the candles, and it makes me think of the hermit and the invitation to meditate or connect or pray. Maybe it's even just affirmations, right? Working on that neuroplasticity. So we've got dance, which is movement, flow, shifting things up. That could be, it could even be like yoga or stretching. If you're not much of a dancer, that's okay. Do you sing in the shower? Do you sing in your car? Maybe it's having fun and letting go, letting loose, letting yourself be seen, allowing yourself a little bit of freedom of movement. The hair card, to me, that represents expressing yourself, an outward expression of self, and how you are seen and how you show up for yourself and for others. But this blank card, I have a very special friend who told me that the blank card, the Joker in a regular playing card deck, this card is where the magic happens. You get to decide. You get to create. You get to be the genius behind the whole thing, right? The Ace of Wands. You get to use your amazing creative gifts to tune into what your body needs and what your body wants in order to fulfill, words are hard. In order to meet the needs of your body, your environment, your spirit, you get to decide. You're the creator, narrator, artist. It's all you. All right. Although it was a little bit messy, thank you for your grace with my clumsiness here with all these cards tonight. I just want to say thank you so much for showing up here. If this message resonated for you, please leave a message for me in the comments below, letting me know. If you like my energy and the way I show up and the way that I read, you're welcome to follow and subscribe to my channel for, stay tuned for more. I like to do these kind of readings around the new and the full moon to tap into the energy of what's going on around us. So let me know how this came out for you. I'm really curious to hear what new opportunities you're creating for yourself. What new things you're creating. I am responsible for my life. I mean, that really hits, especially after that reading. Thank you so much for being here, Group 2. Thank you so much for showing up for me, for yourself. And I hope you stay connected. And until next time, take good care of yourself. Group number 3, welcome. If you chose group number 3 or this beautiful hematite crystal, then you hopefully are in the right place. So at the start of this reading, these 3 cards are intended to help you to get connected with the messages intended for those that are here to listen to the message for group 3. So if this resonates for you, perfect, then you're in the right spot. And if it doesn't, then you can always go over and check out groups 1 or 2 and see if there's a better connection there. I do invite you to go ahead and still listen to the messages that come through in the reading itself, because there may be something there for you, something drew you here. So without further ado, and let me say this. If the message doesn't resonate for you, don't take it. It's not for you. Just take what does, leave the rest. All right, here we go. I am a problem solver. Isn't she gorgeous? Look at how radiant she is. Ugh, love her. I am a problem solver. Okay. And then we have 12th house, introspection. That tracks if you're a problem solver. All right, and then these are the sweet ass affirmation cards because I like fun. This card says, my moments turn out the best because I make the best of the way my moments turn out. I love that. Well, group number 3. Seems like, I am getting strong that you might be an air sign. So that might mean that you are a Gemini, a Libra, or let's see. What's the other one? This is why I'm not into astrology, guys. Believe it or not, yeah. Aquarius, duh. Okay, I'm a Pisces Aquarius, so I should know. Anyways, so you might be somebody who tends to spend quite a bit of time thinking through things, thinking through different scenarios. I wonder if you practice conversations in your head with people before you talk to them, just to kind of play out how things could go, trying to think a few steps ahead. Just because your mind is always going. You're somebody that takes information in and you analyze it from different angles. I really love that. I think you might actually even literally see things in a different way. Yeah, beautiful. All right, let's see what the message is on the back of this card. We all face unexpected adversity in life. Loss of income, illness in the family. Someone steals your fruity pebbles. These moments always sneak up when you least expect them, causing internal mayhem in the form of anxiety, depression, and even anger. Although fruity pebble theft should be punishable by lashings, that's what's done is done and cannot be changed. Accept your disposition and make the best of what comes next. For the rest of your life, your moments will always turn out the best if you make the best of the way your moments turn out. So as someone who already does see things from a different perspective, I wonder if you're like, what's the word I'm looking for? A devil's advocate, right? And in groups of people, like you'll just throw something random out there just to see how people will react. Like, how are they going to respond to this? That's really beautiful. And also, I've been on the other side of those conversations too, so it can definitely make people uncomfortable. And I think you like to see people in their discomfort because it's honest. If you are an air sign, please, please, please leave me a message in the comments below and let me know. Because I feel like air signs tend to be people who seek the truth. I mean, there are people that seek truth, but like air signs go hard. Like they can figure you out. So let me know if you fit in that category. Maybe you have a rising sign and an air sign. I'm just curious. Wow, I just took that for a ride, didn't I? Okay. Spirit, help me to connect with the energy of group number 3. Help me to deliver the messages that they need to hear today. Please help me to share with them how to communicate them. Words. I am struggling. Spirit, please help me to connect with group number 3. Please help me to deliver the messages in a most clear and concise manner. Please help me to share with them what it is that you intend them to know, how they can best benefit from the energy of this full moon in Leo, February 12th, 2025. What messages does group 3 need at this time? What do they need to know? What are they seeking? How can they best tune in and tap in to the energy of this full moon in Leo on February 12th, 2025? Whew. Oh, I forgot to share with you guys. I shared with the other piles. This isn't the same deck that I've had since I was a teenager, but it's been with me for a very long time. As you can see, it's very well loved. A little bit gross, but I haven't read for a while on the internet, so I figured, you know what, let's go back to basics. Let's connect with who we are here. And so this kind of felt like home today, and I really wanted to share that with you guys. So, all right. Can I have at least one more card? Thank you. Thank you. Asking you shall receive. All right, let's see. We have Strength in Reverse, the Tower, the Magician, and the Queen of Swords. Yeah, I am getting total air sign vibes. Okay. Let me scoot these. I tend to forget. This isn't my usual setup, so I tend to forget to pay closer attention to what you can see in my screen here. So thank you for your grace, your patience with me. All right, the Strength in Reverse, the Tower, the Magician, and the Queen of Swords. I'm getting the message that you haven't always been the best advocate for yourself. You might be a recovering people pleaser. And I feel like you hold some sense of responsibility for things around you being impacted. Let's see if I can give a good example of this. Like perhaps by not voicing concerns or speaking up about something that you were witness to, or that you presumed that the behavior spoke for itself. You didn't speak about it, and and the end result was, the unbecoming of a situation, like something unraveling. But obviously, I think you're consciously aware of the fact that you had nothing to do with that, and you're not responsible for the actions or inaction of others. I think, I think maybe you might not have advocated for someone because you were concerned that they wouldn't have received it well. Maybe that's a good example of what I'm trying to say. But that's not the case. You're not responsible for the unfolding of events. And now, of course, whether or not you choose to believe that, that's up to you. But from what I can see here, that's what I'm sharing. The magician, the presence of the magician tells me that you have such a wealth of knowledge. And that's simply, life experience just from your observations. You might be someone who does study quite a bit, someone who has varied interests. Could be anything from science to esoterica to religion to math to, I think you have a lot of varied interests that commingle very well, perhaps even in ways that others might not consider. The Queen of Swords. You're a protector. You are. You advocate for other people. Very possibly someone may have been hurt, you think, as a result of your inaction, and I don't think that's the case at all. So, I'm not here to mom the internet, but I will tell you this. In my experience as a parent, I can't say you because I don't know your status for sure, but as a mom, I wanted nothing more than to protect my kids. But when you do everything in your power to protect them, sometimes they are determined to figure it out for themselves. Here's an example. My son, when he was about 2 years old, 3 years old, he found my car keys and was playing with them, which seemed fine to me, until he put them in the light socket. And he was screaming about the bees in his arm. And of course, I'm panicking that he's going to hurt himself. Don't do that. And he takes the keys and he tries to put the keys in the light socket again. And I'm like, why is he doing this? He was determined to have a different outcome. Of course, I didn't let him do that again. And I kept my keys from him from that point forward. But things are going to happen the way that they're going to happen. And we can't control the outcome. It's totally okay to feel a responsibility for others. However, there needs to be a bit of a space in between to allow for the growth, to allow things to happen. I want to know more about this Queen of Swords for you. I don't know why it was so important for me to share that story. Apologies to my kiddo for that. Well, okay. So we have Temperance. Actually, let me show her because I can't leave her out there by herself. So we have Temperance and Three of Swords that came out. So we're gonna cover that up a little bit. I think experience obviously taught you to be guarded. It taught you to ask questions. So perhaps the questions are a bit of a defense mechanism. Knowledge tends to be kind of a crutch for you, perhaps. I feel like over time you've grown to lean less and less on the perspectives of others, their input, their influence, right? So you don't necessarily allow others to influence your decision making, and that's where the questions come in. And I also think, I don't know why this is important to share, but I also think that you question your own beliefs. Once you get to a point where you have a certain truth that feels right to you, you constantly check back in. Well, maybe not constantly, but frequently you'll check back in to see if that still resonates for you as truth. And I think that is a wonderful example of growth. You know, I mean, how many people do that? I believed this yesterday. Do I still believe this today? I believed this when I was 6. Does this still align with where I'm at now? That might be off-putting for some people, but it really doesn't matter to you. You kind of have your own thing. You do. You follow your own path, and I love that. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this too. I do feel like this Queen of Swords has, even though you're a bit of a protector, I feel like you've been guarding your heart for a while. So perhaps this influence of others, right? I feel like there's, how do I want to say this? I think the best way to address this is, it feels like there's an opportunity, a door opening, ready for you to step through. Not only have you been kind of a guardian over other people that you care for, but perhaps you're guarding your heart as well. This feels like an opportunity for your heart to open to someone new. And I think it takes a really special person to gain that level of interest or respect for you. I think it does lean into respect specifically. So it relates directly to respect. I think it can be intimidating for people to be questioned, you know, to have a devil's advocate. And I hate to lean on that specific trite phrase, but that's what's coming to mind. You know, if you are that person that asks those questions just to kind of stir the pot a little bit, get the conversation flowing, see where the truth is going to lead you. People always show you who they are, eventually. And sometimes you don't have to ask those questions. But I feel like the person that may be a part of this invitation, this door opening, can see that about you and see straight through you. And that is very different. So if there is an opportunity of someone coming into your life and makes you feel seen in a way that others don't, and I say that It's like they see through you or see into you. And it seems like really creepy when it comes out like that, but that's not what I mean. Someone who sees the truth of who you are and doesn't back down from that, isn't afraid of that, wants to embrace that, wants to know more about that, is curious about that. That is kind of the indicator, I think, that this person, whether it be a lover, a friend, a mentor, a guide, someone on your path, I feel like it's an important relationship, whatever label it gains. It doesn't have to be romantic necessarily, but it allows you the opportunity to open your heart in a way that that maybe you haven't felt brave enough to do so before, if that makes sense. Whew, that was quite a lot. Okay, so are there any other messages for group number 3 for this full moon in Leo? Thank you. Okay, well, all right. If I've learned anything, it's that people are stubborn. And here's the thing. You can protect your heart if you want to, and that's totally okay. But sometimes change happens anyway, right? We have opportunities, we have doors that we walk through, whether we, sometimes whether we want to or not. If the universe wants you to move, they're going to give you opportunities to do it on your own, but sometimes they're going to push you through that door and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's part of the experience. If you need to be somewhere else, you're going to have some divine intervention shoving you out of the way or into the right direction. But what I do see here is, as much as you might externally feel close to this person, if there is a person involved here, they'll still get to you, and that's okay. You don't have to be super vulnerable and emotional if that's not who you are. They can connect with you in a way that's logical, that still can affect your emotion. The fact that someone wants to try that hard to understand you means something. So, all right, so that's what I have for the tarot for group number 3. I hope that this resonated for you. But before we go, I do want to ask a few questions here using the My Quality Self-Care Activity cards. I keep wanting to call them oracle cards, so I'm pulling over the whole box so I can read it properly. So what are some messages for group number 3 to help them stay anchored in ways to support themselves at this time through this energy of this full moon in Leo? Spirit, what messages does group number 3 need to stay anchored into the messages or stay anchored into the energy of this full moon in Leo? Spirit, what suggestions do you have for group number 3? Okay, I think that's quite a lot. You got a little extra, but we're going to keep it because that was hard won. All right, so we have ritual. Okay, ritual, sense, dance, pamper, and read. Okay. Okay, again, these are just suggestions, are not necessarily specific things that you need to do, but I see a common thread throughout. And that common thread is to get into your body. You are an intellectual person. If I have been reading you right from the start, you are an intellectual person, which means you spend a lot of time in your head. So this is an invitation to have ritual, be present with yourself. Like if you are somebody who practices any particular ritual practice. For example, I have an altar space. I pray. I meditate. So if, be present in your ritual, whatever that is for you. Sometimes senses can take us back into our bodies, right? So that can be a mindful eating, right? Or smelling flowers, or baked goods. Some people, like, I connect with the smell of pumpkin pie because my grandmother used to bake pumpkin pie every year for Thanksgiving. And we have dance. Dance helps you to move your body. You have to be in it to move it around. And then we have pamper, which means, I don't know, does that mean for you getting a massage, or maybe you enjoy Reiki, or, pamper yourself in some way that you can spend a few moments being present within your physical body. And then finally we have read. And although this is kind of an intellectual task, I feel like in this case, since she's reading ghost stories, perhaps reading something on the fiction side, or maybe you like ghost stories. I don't know. But I would say participating in things that put you into your body so you can be present in the moment. And interestingly enough, for group 2, I talked about how, the power of being in the moment. We spend a lot of time looking back and looking forward, but truly the power is in the now, because now is what we have control over. And as someone who is intellectual, I think you can appreciate that. With your skills, gifts, and abilities, I think that you have the ability to really understand the power of this moment right now. So I hope you stay in it. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you're able to manifest all your dreams in the present. So that is all I have for you today, Group 3. I hope this message resonated for you. Please leave me a comment below if it did. Let me know if you want to see more like this. I'm trying to continue to show up at the new moon and the full moon to try to figure out how to anchor in those energies and how we can support ourselves at that time. So if you like how I show up and how I'm sharing the information and the messages with you, please, like, subscribe, whatever you feel called to do. I'd love to stay connected. I want to create a supportive community. So until next time, take good care of yourself.